Welcome back to my channel. Last week I did take a week off, but I am back with my weekly videos, and this week I want to talk about tips and essential items to take when you take your kids to the park. So for us, we try to go to the park a couple of times a week. This doesn't always happen, but for us, our kids really thrive on being active, going outside, leaving the house, especially everyone's been at home for so long, and we do like playing in our backyard, but it's really not the same as getting them out, getting them in the car, getting them to go somewhere, and then just seeing a new place, different views, that kind of thing. So that's why we really like going to the park. Another thing is that for us, it is a priority to go to parks that are empty, where nobody else is there, it's just us. So my first tip about going to the park is going to be, if you, like us, want it to be empty, or if you just want a wider variety of parks that you can go to, look for elementary schools in your area, because usually the playgrounds are open, available. They're not usually, locked or anything like that. We did have one near our house that was locked during the summer, so we just couldn't go during the summer, but now that school started up again, it's no longer locked, so we can go back again. So we love going to elementary schools. A lot of times they also have coverings, so they're covered to get us some shade, and they're usually empty, which we love. And some of them even have like 2 playgrounds at the one school, so that can even give you more of an option. We've experienced that, and just very well maintained is a lot of what we found. So we really love going to elementary schools, and our favorite time to go to the park is actually in the late afternoon or evening, like around 5 o'clock. I know it's pretty hot at that time, which is also why we try to find places with the covering. But for us, it really helps the kids get their last bit of energy out around dinner time or after dinner time, so that they go to bed easier. So for us, that's really like the best time for us to go, especially when I get home from work, and then we can just leave right away, go to the park, eat dinner at the park, and then come home, take a bath, and go to bed. So for us, that schedule really works out. Usually, if we are not active during that time, then our kids tend to go to bed a little later because they're not as tired, because they didn't get all their energy out. So that's why for us, that's the best time to go to the park. So my next tip would be to pack dinner and go to the park. So for us, I like packing really easy things, PB&J, or some fruit, some crackers, things that are just really easy to pack, and we put them in their bento boxes. So I'm going to show the ones that we use. So this one is my daughter's, and it's Austin Baby Collection, and I will link it, but we take these whenever we're on the go. We love these bentos. They're silicone, they're really sturdy, they can go in the dishwasher, so these are really awesome. So each kid has their own, and we just pack their whole dinner in there and take that with us to the park. So on top of that, if we want to eat, then we will just take our dinner with us as well. Really easy stuff, or like even today, my husband made burgers, and we took burgers to the park. So we just had a picnic at the park, super easy, threw it in, a plastic container, and took it to the park. So the next thing that I will say is water, water, water. So each kid has their Munchkin Straw Cup, which I will also link below, and those are the cups that they use 24/7 all day. So we fill theirs up, and then we each have our own cup of water, and then we bring an additional jug or bottle of water, like the biggest one that we have, and that's to refill all of our cups. So I won't really use water fountains. There aren't always water fountains anyway, so I just always make sure to pack spare water because my kids go through a lot of water when they're outside, especially when it's hot. So like my son can go through 2-3 water bottles of his because they're not very big. They're like 1 1/4 cup of water, but he can go through like 3 of those in one trip to the park. So always pack extra water. I even have spare water, just plastic water bottles, spare in my car, just in case we run out of the water that we have packed. So lots of water, refill. If you have any kind of thermos or cup that keeps the water cold, that's a plus. So we put ice water and then we can fill up their cups with that. So the next thing I will say is, of course, sunscreen. So even if it's a little later, you know, the sun is still out, so definitely pack your sunscreen. So my favorite sunscreen is this in a cardboard tube. It's natural sunscreen. I get it on Etsy, and what I really like is it's really easy to apply with the kids. I just put it all over them, rub it in, and my tip for putting sunscreen on them is put it on them when they are still in their car seat. So as soon as we get to the park, while they're still in their car seat, I apply their sunscreen all over before I unbuckle them. Because once I've unbuckled them, they want to get to the park, they want to start climbing and running and jumping and sliding, so I keep them buckled while I apply that, and it's made a huge difference. And I also just stress to them how important sunscreen is to keep their skin safe from the sun. So that's what I tell them, so that they know that we need to put on sunscreen. We all put on sunscreen, so they know it's not just them, it's all of us, and we're protecting our skin. So the next tip that I will say is the easiest thing for us is just to put all of our stuff in a reusable grocery bag. So I put the bentos in there, the waters, the sunscreen, the extra water, any food that I want, any extra snacks, and I just put all of that. I fill one grocery bag, and that is the easiest for me to transport back and forth from the car. And then in the car, I already have spare diapers and spare wipes. And then what I also have is a travel potty. So I actually have a cup that my son can pee in when we're on the go, when we're at the park. He can use it in the car or, in a private space, because a lot of times there is not a bathroom to use. And then I also have a spare potty seat that can sit on its own and then has bags that you can use. So I will link both of those below as well. But this is definitely a must if your child is potty trained and you are anywhere for any length of time and there is no bathroom available. You definitely need a potty. I also have spare clothes, spare underwear, spare shorts in the car just in case there is an accident. And then, like I said, extra diapers and wipes, so we're totally prepared. And then the other items I also keep, especially for going to the park, are hand sanitizer wipes. I have found the wipes are the easiest to use on the kids. They don't always like using actual hand sanitizer, so I found the wipes. So before they eat or, when we're done, to wipe their hands off because, again, there's no bathroom. So definitely keep those in the car, in your bag. Those have been really helpful for the park. Okay, and the last tip for taking your kids to the park is to count down before it's time to go home. So we count down. Usually we'll give a warning at 10 minutes, a warning at 5 minutes, and then from 5 minutes then we count down 4, 3, 2, 1 minute. Another tool is you can use a timer on your phone so they can hear it, and we just repeat over and over and okay, in 5 minutes it's time to go in the car and go home, and we just repeat it so they know exactly what's going to happen. And that's also while we pack up and kind of wind down so they know we're getting ready to go, and then count down so there are no surprises that we're about to go home. I also tell them, if they want to go down the slide one more time, or if they want to climb something one more time, or whatever last thing they want to do it now. Of course, this doesn't always work. Sometimes it's a struggle to leave, but we do our best, to count down, to give warnings so that they know that we're about to go home. So that has been super helpful, for them to know exactly what to expect. And then I will also say to expect to leave later than you think. So if you want to be on your way home by 6 p.m., then try to leave by 5:45. So that's just kind of what I found. It takes a little longer to get everybody to walk to the car, to get in the car, to get buckled. So always plan for extra time. If you want to be home by 6:30 to get them in the bath, then plan accordingly 10-15 minutes before you actually want to be driving away, so that you can leave by the time you actually want to be leaving. So that's what I have found. If I want to leave at 5:45, don't count down and try to leave at 5:45, because I'm probably not going to leave for 10 or 15 more minutes. So that is what I have found. But we have had a lot of fun. I will also say, if you are driving around anywhere and you see a park, you can actually drop a pin in your map app on your phone if you have an iPhone. So I have done that. I actually was driving a couple of weeks ago to go pick something up, and I was driving through a neighborhood, and I saw a really great park. It was fenced in, it had a cover, and it was really great. So I dropped a pin and I sent it to my husband, and I said, this is a really great park, we should check it out. So that's something really cool. If you don't have your kids or you're not wanting to go to a park at that moment, you can just drop that pin and then come back to it, whenever you want. So you can just drop them and then, know where you want to go, so that you have that option. So that's been really helpful for us too, is to do that and then send it to each other. And so we have it marked and know where we want to go next time. So that is all of the tips that I have right now for taking your kids to the park for essentials. If you have any questions about anything I use, I will link everything that I talked about. And let me know your experiences. If you have any tips that maybe I didn't cover, I didn't talk about, definitely let me know. Or if you have any questions, I would love to answer them. Go ahead and follow my Instagram, which is @AdmireYourselfToday, and I will see you next time. Bye!